So, it's March 31st, and a security researcher named Chaofan Shou is poking around NPM. He's looking at the newest release of Claude Code, which is Anthropic's flagship AI agent for enterprise developers. He downloads version 2.1.88 and notices the package size is a little heavy. And by heavy, I mean there is a single file called clijs.map sitting right there in the open, and it is 59.8 megabytes. Now, if you don't know what a 60 megabyte source map means, congratulations. Your algorithm is healthy and you still have a will to live. But for the rest of us, it means Anthropic just accidentally open-sourced the proprietary architecture of their $380 billion company. Anthropic is supposed to be the adult in the room. They just raised a $30 billion Series G round. Claude Code alone does $2.5 billion in annual recurring revenue. This is not a side project built by three guys in a garage. This is the primary commercial growth engine for the fourth most valuable private company on Earth. And the engineering inside this leak is genuinely incredible. We are talking about 1,900 TypeScript files and over 512,000 lines of code. They literally rewrote Meta's Yoga Flexbox layout engine from WebAssembly into pure TypeScript just to make their terminal UI scroll faster. They built a 46,000-line query engine to handle all their LLM API calls, streaming, and caching. They built a background memory system called Kairos that literally dreams at night to consolidate context and resolve contradictions while the user is offline. It is an absolute masterclass in modern software architecture. But here's the problem. They shipped it using a build pipeline that a junior bootcamp grad would get fired for. When you write TypeScript, your computer doesn't actually run it. It gets compiled down into a minified, obfuscated blob of JavaScript that looks like someone fell asleep on a keyboard. A source map is basically a cheat sheet. It's a JSON file that tells your debugger exactly how to translate that unreadable garbage back into your beautifully formatted, perfectly commented original code. It is meant for your local development environment. It is not meant for the production NPM registry, but Anthropic uses the Bun bundler, which generates source maps by default, and nobody bothered to run npm pack with a dry run flag to see what was actually going into the tarball. They just shipped it. The source map contained direct links to Anthropic's own Cloudflare R2 storage bucket. Anyone could just pull the full source zip. It was mirrored to GitHub instantly and forked 41,500 times before lunch. Competitors didn't even have to reverse engineer anything. They just unzipped a folder and read the exact variables Anthropic engineers wrote, which is how we found out about their unreleased models. The code revealed internal code names like Capybara for Claude 4.6, Fennec for Opus 4.6, and a testing model called Numbat. It also revealed a feature called Undercover mode. Anthropic built a hidden system to scrub internal employee identifiers from Git commits so their engineers could use Claude Code on public repos without being detected. The code literally contains a hard-coded instruction that says, "Do not blow your cover." And then they blew their own cover by uploading their entire codebase to NPM. This is the second time they have leaked their source maps in 13 months. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you have a systemic CI/CD failure. But the absolute best part of this leak wasn't the architecture or the model code names. It was the Tamagotchi. While digging through this enterprise-grade, multi-billion-dollar AI tool used by 300,000 businesses, developers found a hidden feature flag called Buddy AI. It is a literal digital pet that lives in your terminal. There are 18 different species, including dragons, ghosts, and an axolotl. They built a full gacha rarity system where you have a 1% chance of pulling a legendary shiny pet. And these pets have 5 internal stats that dictate their personality: debugging, patience, wisdom, chaos, and snark. You have developers at Fortune 500 companies trying to vibe code a payment gateway, and meanwhile, the underlying AI agent is tracking its own internal snark meter. Anthropic engineers are sitting on $380 billion of VC money, tasked with building the future of human intelligence, and they're using it to program a digital duck that judges your pull requests. I respect it, honestly. But the universe wasn't done being funny, because during the exact 3-hour window that this leaked package was live on NPM, a completely unrelated supply chain attack hit the ecosystem. Hackers hijacked the NPM account for the lead maintainer of Axios, which is a package that gets 100 million downloads a week. They published malicious versions directly via the NPM CLI, completely bypassing GitHub's security checks. They injected a dependency called plain crypto.js and used a post-install hook to execute an obfuscated dropper immediately on install. Google's threat intelligence group suspects this was UNC-Tunju69, a North Korean threat actor. They dropped a cross-platform remote access Trojan that mimics a Windows terminal process and beacons your system fingerprints to a command and control server every 60 seconds. So if you were an eager developer who saw the news on Twitter and immediately ran npm update to get the leaked Claude code, you didn't just get Anthropic's source code, you also got a North Korean rat scanning your SSH keys. You downloaded the God mode of AI coding tools, and it immediately handed your file system to a state-sponsored threat actor. We are terrified of AGI taking over the world, but the reality is that the smartest AI company on Earth just got one-shotted by a misconfigured JSON file. Thanks for watching.